So we're starting with our controlled articular rotations, our CARs. We're going to do the entire body, and then we're going to focus a little bit onto our hips and into our spine. So like we did this morning. So we come with the feet hip width apart, remembering that concept of irradiation. So the rib cage is hugging the midline. So we don't want the ribs to be lifting to go into a back bend, or for the pelvis to be tipping forward or tipping backwards. So we want the body to be in a neutral position, and we connect a tripod on each foot onto the floor. The tripod is the base of the big toe, of the little toe, and the center of the heel. So we really push our feet into the floor, connecting to the ground. The feet are pushing apart and the arms are squeezing into the body. Abs are engaging. So we take a breath in, we pack that air down into the lower abdomen, and we start with the neck. We drop the chin down and rotate the chin to the left as if we're brushing our collarbones with our chin. Take the chin as far back behind the shoulder as the body allows for, and begin to lift it, rotating the head, maintaining the spaciousness into the neck as we rotate over to the other side. Dropping the chin once again, we're passing through our collarbones, brushing through. We keep the arms squeezing in, we keep the ribs hugging our midline, the abs active, the feet pushing apart. Moving on through circle number 2, rotating the head, dropping the chin behind the shoulder, bringing it down, passing through to rep number 3. Every time we pass from the circle, we try and expand it a little more. From the shoulders down, we're a statue moving through and coming back to the middle. We're going to reverse. Take the chin toward your right shoulder and beyond the shoulder. Lift the chin up. Rotate so the neck goes into extension. Now rotate, bringing the chin to a left shoulder. Down to the armpit, passing in front of the collarbones. Maintaining cadence in our movement. Moving slowly, as if we're moving 1 kilometer per hour. If we're feeling any part of our circle that is painful, we don't want to force through the pain, we can bypass that part. If we feel parts that are restricted, we can give them a little extra attention. Coming back to the midline and looking forward. From the neck, we go to the thoracic spine. I'll just turn a little to the side. So we open the feet wider now. The hands one on top of the other, sitting on the middle of our sternum, not too high, not too low, into the middle here. And we begin to roll the spine down into flexion. So feet pushing, engaging the buttocks, rolling down. And we stop to the point where our hips want to push back. We don't let them. So it's only the spine that has peeled one vertebrae at a time. Rotate left without moving the hips. Remember your flashlights, side bending to your left. Now push your hand into your chest, into your hands, and your hands into the chest. Lift towards the ceiling. Side bend into your right side. From your side bend, now rotate so your left shoulder comes parallel to the floor, and rotate forward and continue to move through to your left. Side bend. Push your chest into your hands. Maintain the length in your neck. Side bend. Rotate. Pass through. And move on for rep number 3. Feet still actively pushing into the floor. The entire legs all the way up to the buttocks engage. Side bending. Rotate and come to center. We're going to revolve. Rotate right. Side bend. Push the chest into your hands. Side bending left. Beginning to revolve, bringing your right shoulder parallel. Remember your flashlights, they're pointing to the floor. As you begin to side bend, the flashlights are going to face forward, and as you lift the chest, pushing it into your hands, your flashlights are pointing up. Now you're side bending. They still point forward, but they've leaned to the side, and as you rotate, your flashlight looks down, You turn forward, the flashlights point to the floor. Last rep. Rotate, squeeze a little more out of it. Sideways, push the chest into your hands. Down. Coming back to the midline. And upright. Once again, we come with the feet parallel and hip width apart. We're going into our shoulder blades. Take a breath in, packing that air down. Remember that tapping where everything pushes out in all directions like a cylinder. The feet push apart. I'm squeezing in towards the body, and we don't want to move the arms forward or backs, neither to bend the elbows. So from here, feel that your shoulder blades are moving upwardly. The shoulders come to the ears. Squeeze them back without bending the elbows. Push down and forward. Shoulders up for elevation. Squeeze back for retraction. Push down for depression and forward. Last time, up. Squeeze back. Push down and forward for protraction. We're going to reverse. Retract. And when you retract, remember, we don't want the spine to move. The spine stays still throughout. Lift up. Forward, arms stay straight and down. They stay to the side of the body. Squeeze back. Lift up. Forward and down. Last time, back. Up. Forward and down. Beautiful. Going into the shoulders, you bring your right foot forward. Left foot back. Your flashlights in your hips are pointing forward, on your shoulders forward as well. So we don't want the pelvis or the shoulders to move at all. The upper body stays vertical without any side bending or rotation, anything else happening with the shoulder. The only movement happens in the arm into the shoulder. So squeeze your left hand into a fist, front knee bend, both feet pushing down. Take a breath in. Pack that air down into the lower belly. Externally rotate your right arm and bring it diagonally in front of you. Now lift it up.
The air is dense and heavy. Push the arm up behind you. When you reach the maximum,
Begin to rotate the arm internally. Continue to roll it in until you reach the point where the arm is fully inwardly rotated. Your palm is facing out. Now lift it up behind you as if you're high-fiving the ceiling. Rotate the arm, lift it up, and once again, diagonal in front of you, you're bringing it down. Feel that there's a certain level of resistance happening.
the air, restricting your arm to lift up, so you really need to push it in.
Rotate in, taking it down. Now keep your pelvis in neutral, so buttocks are engaging, bringing it down. When you lift it up, try not to couple the movement using your spine. Keep the ribs in. Rotate. So full isolation into the shoulder girdle. Last one. Lift it up.
With the external rotation, find the maximum and push for a little more. Rotate.
Continue to rotate, bringing it down. Lift it up behind you. Find the edge. Fight for a little more. Rotate. Up. And bringing it down. Other side. Bring your left foot forward. Your right foot back. Feet are pushing into the floor. So your foot can be there. It can be there. Wherever you choose, make sure you have a solid foundation. We don't want the pelvis to be tipping forward. We want the pelvis to be neutral. The feet are pushing down, so the buttocks are engaging. The abs are active to support our position. The right hand squeezes into a fist. Left arm externally rotates, bringing in diagonally, and we're lifting it up. Keep it close to the ear. Push it back. Keep the ribs in so the spine doesn't contribute to the movement. Isolating fully the movement into the shoulder joint. Palm is facing out. Lift the arm behind you as if you're high-fiving the ceiling, and try not to open it up. Lift it straight behind you. Find the edge, then rotate. Lifting it up. Bringing it diagonally in front of you so the arm goes into adduction. Palm faces the ceiling. Slowly bring it down. And again, up. Keep squeezing your right hand into fist. Brush the ear with your arm. Push it back as much as you can. Watch that the spine doesn't contribute. Rotate the arm. Continue to rotate, keeping it as close to the body. Lift it up. Find the edge. Push a little more. Rotate. Up. And down. Last one. Up. Keep it close to the ear. Push it behind you. Show the ear from the side. Pushing back without using spine. Rotate, rotate. And as you move it down, keep rotating until there's no more rotation. Keep the internal rotation. Lift up. Find the edge. Then rotate, bringing it up and back down. Shake your arms. And we're going to come into our elbows. Just going to lift up my sleeves. You don't have to do that. But just to show you now, when we're moving into our elbows, we don't want to also move the upper arm. So we're going to come into our anatomical position, which is this one. And in the anatomical position, there's a slight external rotation of the forearm. But the position we choose, we don't want to change it. We don't want to take it further or roll it more in. So we will end up moving the forearm into the elbow. So arms are squeezing in. Take a breath in, pack that air down, feet push apart, and begin to bend slowly the elbows. Now here, feel that the air is very, very heavy. So your biceps are working as if you're having 30 kilos on each hand. Now rotate the forearm, push down. Rotate into the elbow and pay attention. You can do this in front of the mirror as well. So noticing if your upper arm is rolling at all or not. Bend as much as you can. I'll just turn to have a different perspective from the side. Turn the forearm, push down. Extend fully, then rotate once again. The only thing turning is below your elbow. Roll in, push down, rotate out, and bend. Rotate, push down. Now we're going to stay here, and we're going to reverse. Bend the elbows, the palms now are facing forward. Rotate and rinse as much as you can out of it, but only the forearm below the elbow is moving. Extend. Rotate. Without the upper arm moving. Feel as if somebody's pushing your hands down and you really want to bend in your elbow. So you're putting a lot of effort. Rotate. Push down. Keep the energy in the rest of the body. Rib cage is hugging the midline. Rotate in. Bend. Push the back of the hands as much as you can towards your shoulders. Rotate. And down. Beautiful. And just shake it out. We'll go to our wrists. So here, keep the upper arm close to the body. Support your forearm. Keep the palm open. So when we're doing this, we don't want to cup the hand at all. And we don't want to let the forearm turn. So from where we are, fingers turn in. Then they go down. When the fingers go down, feel as if there's a string pulling the back of the hand to the forearm. Then the same happens, the string pulls your thumb to the side. Then the palm to the inner forearm. Moving on to rep number 2. If you have good control, you can simply support your hand. Or if not, you can hold it just to make sure that it's not moving until the program registers in the brain and you're able to control this without having to hold your forearm. Let's reverse. Take it out, down, in, and up. And whilst we do this, we feel as if there's a little more density into the air. The air is a little thicker, so we're putting a little more effort in our circle. And if we do this first thing out of bed, I wanted to say, shake the arm. So if we do this first thing out of bed, we can do it to about 30% of our capacity of our effort. We don't need to put a big effort when we do this whole sequence in the morning. But if we're doing it to warm up for anything else, for a sport or for any physical activity, we want to have a little more engagement. So I would say 60 to even 70% of our effort, of our action in engaging the entire body working, because we really want to warm up our tissues before practice. So going to the other hand, keeping the palm straight, fingers straight. Fingers go in, they go down. They go to the side, and we try to make the circle as smooth as possible. It will feel as if we're cutting a few corners because of how our wrists are, and especially if we haven't been moving them enough. The circle is not going to be a very smooth one, but our intent is to make it. So we go slow to gain control, and with a slow speed, we can activate our muscles more, gain more control, but also strengthen. Let's reverse. Take it out to the side, down, in, and up. Keep the palm straight. So at the first few times, you might need to be looking at the camera whilst you do that. But as you learn the movement and it becomes more automatic, then you observe more your body and how you're doing the movement, observing more the quality of your movement. Beautiful. And release completely. And we're going to go to the hips. Now, you're going to use the wall when you do the hips, or if you have a stick or a chair, something to be sure that you're not working with your balance, but rather you're working with the hip. So when we do our articular rotations, we don't want the hip to tip forwards or backwards or lift one side or the other. So we'll start with the left leg first. One hand is pushing against the wall and the other one is either squeezing to keep that same degree of irradiation, or it's on the hips. So I'm gonna pretend that the wall is here and I'm having my hand against the wall, and I don't want to have any weight onto my standing hip. Everything is lifting up, so that foot drives up into the earth, connected to our tripod, big toe mount, little toe mount, and the center of the heel, and the buttock engages. Now, lift the leg up, flexion, as high up as you can without coupling it with any pelvic movement, and extension, pushing it back. Flexion, extension, engaging the buttock. Flexion and extension, flexion, extension, and bring it up into 90 degrees, Externally rotate the leg, internally rotate the leg. Your thigh rolls in its axis out and in, without the hip piking up. When you go into internal rotation, everything stays leveled. Come back to neutral, take a break, take a moment, and we're gonna do our circles. So once again, drive that foot into the floor, engage the buttock, lifting upwardly, and always think that you're lengthening the base of the head away from the spine. So that drops the chin a little bit, the chin pushes back, but we don't want to overly exaggerate. And then it's as if you have a string that is pulling you up. And this automatically helps to set the rib cage in a good position, decompressing the lower back at the same time. So let's go into our exercise. We had enough of a break. So let the leg come up as close to your chest as you can without letting the pelvis tuck. Now open the knee to the side. Internally rotate the leg. Keep pushing the heel up towards the ceiling. Now circle the knee back and bring it down. Push your foot back as if you're pushing into a heavy box. Lift the knee and the ankle up at the same time. Now rotate out, kick the heel forward, come back. Now think of the heel lifting high and the knee wanting to go to the floor. So you're still trying to externally rotate the leg. Lift up, heel lifts up, knee pushing down. Now bring it back to neutral. Open out, rotate the thigh in, lift the heel up high, circle it back with a lot of control, bring it down, push back, lift up, whoops, externally rotate the leg, bringing it in, keep lifting the inner heel up. Last time, up, knee to the chest, open out, internal rotation of your thigh, circle it back, bring it down, push back. As you push back, engage the buttock, lift up, rotate into the axis and then bring it forward and down. Shake your legs, take a moment, and we'll go to the other side. So one hand on the hip, the other one is against the wall. We're working now our right leg. Foot is pushing down and bring your leg into flexion and extension. And when you do that, notice if you have the tendency to abduct a little bit the leg, or when you push it back, if you open it, and try to keep it constantly into the same axis, as if you're pushing through water. Now come into your 90, external rotation, internal rotation. Roll it out and roll it in. So when we go into external rotation, we feel that there's something pulling our inner heel up, something pulling our knee down. And this is where we get that rotation. Same happens when we go into internal. Outer heel now, inner knee to the floor. Let's do it one more time. Back to center and down. Let's regulate our breath. We always want to be breathing with our lips sealed through our nose without bringing breath into the top of the chest. We want to breathe low into the bottom part of our rib cage, of our lungs. And this is where we can get more oxygen into our bloodstream. And so let's go into our circles. Lift the knee up. Open to the side. Internally rotate your leg. Lift the heel up. Send it back. The hips stay on the same level. Down. Push the foot back. You're still having the support from the wall. Up. Rotate, 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 rotate. Keep rotating. Inner heel to the ceiling. Down. Lift up. Keep the external rotation and then come back into your neutral position. Open out, roll the leg in, lift the heel up, circle it back, bring it down, push back, engage the buttock, abduct the leg now, lift up, rotate, in and down. Last one, up, neutral, open, roll it in, down, push back, lift up, external rotation, and down. Beautiful. So we'll go now to the knees. You can take a stool or sit on a chair anywhere, preferably in a way that you can keep the lower back long so that the pelvis doesn't tuck and we bring unnecessary strain into the back. And so bringing let's start with our left leg, bringing it close to you. Now I flexed into my hip, I flexed into my knee, so bending. I'm holding my leg because I don't want my thigh to roll in or out. So I'm holding it tight. I can even do it by pushing my hand into my thigh, but at the beginning we might have more control if we just hold it tight. Now flex your foot fully so the toes have lifted up and let your leg, the lower leg, roll out. So it's a tibial rotation. Now kick your leg up as if you want to extended, but not fully. Now rotate the tibia in. The foot moves with the tibia, but it's not just the foot. Now pull it down. As you pull it down, feel the hamstrings and also your calf muscles engage. Now rotate out. Push it forward. See your own tibia rolling in. It might be minimal, but still see it and feel it. Pull it down. Rotate out. Extend. Rotate in and flex. Stay in, and we're gonna extend. Rotate. You're doing it with full control. There's resistance as if you need to pull against an elastic band. Rotate out. Bend, roll it in, extend, roll it out, and bend, and come up. Because we have our leg up, it's natural that our pelvis tucks a little bit, but we try to keep the pelvis as neutral as possible. If that bothers our lower back, even with a little bit of a tuck, we can keep the leg lower and do the same thing here. It doesn't need to be higher. But if it's higher, then we're working a little more with our hip flexion as well. So see what feels appropriate. The important part is we don't feel pain anywhere. So flex into the knee, foot dorsiflex, so the toes lift up, and rotate out into the tibia, extend, rotate in, and bend. I'll come closer since I don't have a zoom for now. And I'll bring that a tiny bit lower so that you could actually see my leg. So we were here. Sorry about this little interruption. Rotate in, extend, rotate out, and bend. Rotate the tibia in, extend, rotate the tibia out, and bend. Staying here. Extend, rotate in, down, and rotate out. Extend, rotate in, down, and rotate, extend, rotate in, down, and rotate out.